Hi everyone, it's Daphne from Scrap and Create, and we are working on page six of the Forest mini album. And this is a really simple page. We just have a left and a right flap. So I'm going to start by installing the large flap, and I will tell you that it is 7.5 by 6. 7.5 by 6, and you're going to score 1/2 inch on the 7.5 inch side. It's just going to go right against the left hand edge of page 6 and just go flush in, and then the smaller flap is going to be centered on the right hand side. But let's get this in. Okay, so there's our left flap, and then our right flap is the smaller flap, and it is 6.5 by 5. 6.5 by 5. You score 1/2 inch on the 6.5 inch side, and then we're just going to center it on the page here. And I've already put a little tick mark, and I'm just going to use my grid here. There's the center of the page, and use that as my reference. It's okay if you're off just a fraction, but roughly you want it centered. Okay. There we go. Now I do want the smaller flap to close over the larger flap, and we are going to use some magnets to hold this all in place. Actually, that's not what I want. I want it on the inside. Sorry about that. I don't want it on the top. I don't like, if I can avoid placing magnets on the top page, I do. Just because it's a little bit of a bump. So what I really want is I want to have it in here. Okay, and then the other one will be on the inside of the small flap. There we go. Better. That's what I meant to do. There we go. Okay. Pretty simple stuff. Okay, now I have this beautiful piece, which is going to go right here. And then we are going to place this one on top because I like this sort of continuous pattern. And then I planned, because this is simple, to do some embellishing on this one. And then when you open it up, you get this beautiful surprise of this layout, which I love. Okay, right now I'm just checking dry fitting real quick. This is going to be the centerpiece. And that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and ink and get it down. Partly because I want to use it as a contrast piece when I place this one. So I'm not looking at black on black. Okay, I'm just going to double check, that I was putting things in the right orientation, and I am. Okay, now that this is in, you can see I've got a little contrast here, so it's going to make placing this piece a little easier. I can see all my edges. And it looks like it's trimmed right, just needs ink. I'm using Powder Puff Mahogany. Powder Puff Mahogany. I always use pretty much the darkest brown that they have. They change out their colors all the time, so every couple of years they'll come out with a new color name. But basically, I just pick the darkest one. So, so let me double check and make sure. So I can do this. Or the opposite, which is this. And I think this is what I'm going to do, because I do think I want to put some embellishment here. So let's go ahead and glue it in. So like the previous color that I really liked was called Espresso, and then it went to mahogany, but I usually pick the darkest brown. It winds up being, in my mind, a very universal color. So I just knock the white core off. I don't distress into the design of the paper. Some people like to do that, and if you do, then I would recommend going with a lighter color. But because I don't distress inside, I choose a dark one. Okay. All right. I'm going to take a break right here. Hey everyone, I'm back. Took a quick break to have lunch with my husband, and now we're going to finish up this page. Okay, so we've got this in. Oh, I'm just loving this. This is going to go on top. I'm going to dry fit it real quick and trim it if we need, and it looks like a little bit should come off, and then get some ink on it. I know. Oops, that didn't go in very straight. Try that again. There we go. There we go. And that looks excellent. So we're going to get some ink on it and lay it in. Okay, I can't remember. What are we on? I think we're on page... I gotta look back. This is page 4, so this has to be... Is that right? Page 3? Or am I getting it backwards? I might have that backwards. Page 6, I think. I think we're on page 6. I might have mentioned it early on, but I took a break and now I've got my pages all mixed up. It's 3 or 6, I'm not sure. That's terrible, I know. Oh, it's so hard for me to cover this up, but it's right here, so I'm going to, and we're going to use the green on the other side. And I think I'll put either a cut apart. There's so many things, so many elements to use in embellishment, so that's why I wanted to try to keep a couple of them simple so it's not so hard to cover them up. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's go on the inside. And I wanted to continue this pattern, so I'm using this pattern across both sides. And I'm not sure what size this is. I'm pretty sure this is, I'm going to look real quick. I'm going to find a scrap. But I'm pretty sure this is from the 8x8 pack. Yeah, so there's the scale of the 12x12. So this is from the 8x8 on both sides. And we're gonna do the berries up. Or at least that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm just checking to see how they fit. This one looks pretty much ready. So let's get some ink on it and lay it down. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, looks good. All right, everybody. Almost done. Lovely, lovely. Okay, and that is the end of page 6. Okay, I am going to do a little bit of housekeeping, and then I'll be back to add some elements to this page, some embellishments. But like I said, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping, and then I got to get out all my bits and pieces so we can sort through them and try to make some decisions about where to place things. I'll be back shortly.